Hello and welcome to this third video in this Ktor series. In this video, we are going to learn about different queries in MongoDB, and we are going to add different query parameters for our endpoint. So when we retrieve data, we can leverage MongoDB Queries to do stuff like filter data or change the direction, the sorting direction of data, or limit the number of data that we get from the database. So let's get started. So here in IntelliJ, it's where we left from last time. What I want to do first is add some parameters to the fruit data class. So go to the fruit data class, and I'm going to add a list of countries. So it's going to be a list of string, and also I'm going to add the season. But first, let me create an enum class for that. So enum class season, and that's going to be like this: winter, autumn, spring, and unknown, like that. So season, small season is season. Okay, so we have now season and a list of countries. Okay, good. Let's go to the database KT file, and where we have the getFruits function, we are going to add two parameters. So the first parameter is the sorting field, which defines what fields are we going to use to sort the list of fruits. So sorting field is a string, and the default value is going to be fruit :name and .name. And this is not val. I don't know why I keep messing this up. And the second parameter is the sorting direction. Sorting direction. And this is going to be an integer, and the default value is 1. So how can we sort data from MongoDB here using the Kotlin driver? We do that by using .sort like that, and this .sort function will take a sorting bison, or a sorting bison. So we are going to make a variable for that sorting bison, so we can pass it to the sort function. So I'm going to make sorting is if we're going to make a condition. So if sorting direction is greater than 0, so it's a positive, so we are going to sort in an ascending order. So we're going to use sorts from MongoDB .ascending and pass the name of the field that we want to sort with. Else, so if it was a negative value, if the sorting direction was negative, we want to sort descending and also pass the sorting field. Now we can pass this sorting variable to the sort function like that. Okay, our work is done here. We can go to the fruit routes here and receive or process those two parameters, extract them from the call. So first parameter is sorting field is equal to call.query parameters and sorting field like that. So the sorting field is what we get from the call here. Now you can just do that and you get a nullable string, but what I like to do is do some kind of verification. So if the client maybe sends a different string that doesn't belong to any field in our fruit, we can reply with some error. So I like to put this in a win block. So I do it like that. Put this in a win block, and then go through all of the expected values for the sorting field, which is name. It's going to be name, and if it's country, it's country, season, and what else do we have? We have also ID. So ID is going to be _ID because that's what we want to send to MongoDB. And if something else was sent, also we want to process null. So if the client didn't send it, we are going to use the name by default. And for anything else, we want to return and respond to the client with a bad request. And I'm going to use my simple response to show an error message. Invalid sorting field, just like that. And for the sorting thing direction, I'm going to do the same as well. So I'm going to put that in even block, call dot query parameter sorting direction, and if it's ascending, so like that, it's ascending, I'm gonna set it to 1, and if it's descending, I'm gonna set that to -1, and for null, that's going to be 1, and for anything else, we are going to reply or return and respond with an error. So bad request, simple response, false, and invalid value for sorting direction. Just like that. Let's format this code. Okay, so now we got the sorting field and sorting direction. We can pass them to the getFruits function. So sorting field is sorting field, and sorting direction is sorting direction. And I'm going to remove this this code here that actually filters the list, and pass the fruit list here to the response. So we respond directly with the fruit list. Okay, so let's run our server and try this out. And our server is running. Let's go to Postman. Let's try to get the list of fruits. And as you can see here, we get an internal server error. Let's go back to IntelliJ and try to take a look at the console and try to figure out why we have this error here. Now if you take a look at the console here, you can see that here it says that fields, countries, and season are required for the fruit, but they were missing because if we go to Mongo Compass here, we still have an entry like on this apple from before, just here laying around in our fruit collection. And when we try to retrieve the list of fruits, the server looks at our fruit data class, and because those fields are not nullable, so it crashes and it doesn't know how to handle the situation. So to do this, to fix this, we have two options. We can make those fields, like the new fields, nullable, and it will work, and it will just assign null when it retrieves this apple. Or we can delete this and just start over. But the other thing that we can do is actually update our collection here in MongoDB. So update all the documents using MongoDB shell so that it matches with the scheme of our data class. So it does work, because sometimes we don't want to make a field nullable just to fix an error, because yeah, we don't want it to be null, you know. So to do that, click on the Open MongoDB Shell button here, and this will automatically connect to the database and switch to the current database that we are using. You can try to run the find to view everything in our collection, just like that. But what we want is actually to run the update many command. So we are going to write db, and here the name of our collection, which is fruits, and then dot update many. And here we first we are going to pass an empty filter, which is two curly braces basically. This means that we want to apply this update to all documents in our collection. That's why the filter is empty. The curly braces are empty. And then we pass the actual update that we want to make. So we put a dollar sign, set, and then colon. And then what we want to set is the season field, and the value that we want to set is unknown, just like that, and run the command. So as you can see, it says here the modified count is 1, which means that our single document got updated. So let me open the collection again, and here we have a season with the value unknown. So let's repeat this and add the list of countries. So you can go back to the command using your arrow keys. So you press the arrow up key, and here instead of the season, I'm going to change this to countries, and instead of a string here, I'm just going to put an empty array like this, and hit the update, hit enter to update. Now if you go to the collection and try to update, we see a new field, countries, with an empty array. Now if we go to Postman again and try to get the list of fruits, this request is successful and we get the list. Okay, good. Now before we try the sorting and the sorting that we've just implemented, I'm going to add a few fruits. Okay, so I have added some fruits. Here we have some entries. Let's try first by making sorting field like that. Let's try sort by season, for example. So season, and is it sorted? I guess so. Let's try sorting by countries. Oh, I'm not sending the parameter. Nice. So let's try again. Season, sort by season. And yeah, we are sorting right now by the season. And maybe try countries like that, or country. So it sorts by the country now. Let's put it back to season and also add sort direction and make that descending. So now the direction is flipped, as you can see here. It starts with the pineapple here, like that. Is this correct? I think I've mistyped the sorting direction. Yeah, it's like this, sorting direction, not like that. So yeah, right, like that. So it's it flipped the sorting direction for the seasons like that. Okay, pretty cool. Okay, so let's implement filtering data. So we are going to filter data from a specific season. Let's go to the database file, our getFruits function. I'm going to add another field here called season, and I'm going to add, yeah, this one is going to be season, and the default season is maybe summer, or no, we don't want the default season because yeah, we don't want to filter the data when the user doesn't send a specific season, you know. So here I'm going to create a new filter. So filter is conditional also. So if season is equal to null, the filter is going to be empty, so we're not going to filter anything. Else, if it's not null, we are going to set the filter to equal. The field that we want to look for is the seasons field. So I'm gonna do fruit :season and .name to get the name of that field. And the value is season.name, which is the actual value of the season we are looking for. And we pass the filter to the find function like this. Now in our fruit routes, we capture the value of the season if it was sent to the query parameters. So we say season is when call.query parameter season, and we have 4 values here that we expect. So if it's summer, then this one is summer, winter, and spring, autumn, not unknown, but actually autumn. And let's also add unknown. And if this was null, which means the parameter was not sent, we're going to set it to null. And else, we are just going to return and respond with a bad request and a simple response like this. And now we just pass the season to the getFruits function like this. So now we have filtering. Let's run our server and go to Postman. Let's go to Postman. Let's pass here season. I'm going to remove all the other filters, season, and pass winter here. So as you can see, we only got fruits with the winter season. So let's go and add the ability to search. So sorry. So I'm going to add a new field here to the getFruits function. It's going to be query, and it's a nullable string. And the query is going to have its own filter. So query filter is if query is null. So we are going to go with an empty filter, and else the filter is going to we are not looking for an equal value here because we are looking for any match within the name of the fruits. So we are going to use the regex function. So the field name that we want to search in is the name field, and the value we are looking for is query. Now we want to filter by season and also, use the query to search here. So what I'm going to do is actually combine these two filters. So here I'm going to rename this to season filter, and then create a new variable here called filter, and this filter will combine them using the AND function. And we're going to pass the first filter and then the query filter, and then to the find function we are passing the combined filter, which combines these two. Okay, now in our routes we want to read the parameter, so I'm going to call it q here, call.query parameter, and let's just call it q for simplicity, and pass the query here, q, pass it to the getFruits function, and restart the server. Let's jump to Postman, and here let's try q and try looking for AP, for example, and you are going to notice that we have all the names that contain AP in them, but there is one thing that we want to fix here, is that we don't see our apple. And if we do capital A, we are going to see the apple because this search is case sensitive. Now to fix that, we go back to the database file here in the getFruits function, and here in the regex function we pass another parameter, which is the options, and we here pass I like this. And like this, if we restart the server, we're going to have the ability to search, and it's not going to be case sensitive, as you can see here. One last thing you might want to add here is the limit. So we want to limit the response to a specific number of results. So let's add limit here, and this is going to be an integer, and by default maybe make it 10. And here after the find function we are going to say limit and pass the integer that we've received here, going to be limit like that, and basically get the query parameter from here. So limit is call query parameter, and convert it to int using int or null, and pass the limit like this. Okay, so it's giving us an error here because this can be null. So if it's null, we can just fall back to the default value, or we can also, of course, return an error to the client. But I'm just going to leave it at the default value here. And now we can also limit the number of entries the server returns. As you can see here, only 2. If we do 5, we limit them to only 5, but I think we have 4 here. No, we don't have 5. Now, one last thing before we finish is that we have learned how to filter using one season, but what if you want, 2, 3 seasons, and also countries? So we might send more than one country as a parameter, and we want to receive those and filter, by multiple seasons or multiple countries. So to do that, first let's go to the database like we always do. Start with the database part. So here, instead of receiving one season, I'm going to receive change this to a list of seasons. And then here in the season filter, instead of filters equals, I'm going to use filter in. And just like that, I'm gonna instead of passing .name, just pass the whole list of seasons, and this in will search in all whether any value of these documents match a single item in the list here. And in the route itself, instead of receiving one query parameter like this, what we're going to do is I'm going to take this. So this season, let's call it seasons here, is going to be a mutable list of seasons. So a mutable list of season, and we're going to say call the query parameters dot. So instead of season like that, I'm going to say get all, and then here say season, and then we're going to say for each, we're going to loop through the seasons that were sent by the client. And let's take this one statement here and put it inside this for each block, and let's loop through each season. So season like that. And so instead of this, depending on the value of the season within the seasons here, we're going to add one of these to the seasons mutable list. So I'm going to do multiple cursors here, and we're just going to do it like that. And then I'm going to say seasons dot add, and then just like that add the season. And here we don't have null because that's not the case. And here we pass seasons to the getFruits function like that. Now let's run the server again and go to Postman. Now we can pass season winter, and we can also pass season summer, for example, and this will return both summer and winter entries, as you can see here. Okay, so that was it for this tutorial. I hope that was useful to you. Don't forget to like and post any questions you have. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video.